Okay, let me get this going. Okay, there you go. Nations in Transition. This is chapter 7. I am a singular being. My body is the biosphere of this planet. The human family is my awakening organ of intelligence. The purpose of the 20th century is to facilitate my conscious incarnation. Those who choose to align themselves with the strengthening energy field of my presence as it grows in influence upon the earth shall be healed and drawn into the abundance of the age to come. Survival into the third millennia is reserved for the spiritually fit. The key to survival is not competition, but cooperation. Spiritual fitness is not aggression. It is fitting in with the purposes of the earth and with the purposes of her Creator, as these larger purposes blend in human exchange. To the nations of the earth I make this promise, that if you welcome my intelligence into your decision-making processes, and if your emphasis is on forgiveness and cooperation, rather than confrontation, the people of your land will experience wealth beyond imagining. And this wealth will not be at the expense of any other, but will contribute to the well-being of all. Let no nation be judged on the basis of its current wealth. Even America is impoverished by this yardstick of tomorrow. Let nations who have not opened their hearts seek my guidance and ask for my intercession. Wherever I am welcome, I draw those who have invited me up into a new perception. Those nations who welcome my spirit into their affairs will perceive wealth in abundance. They will see that wealth and energy are one and the same. Energy has many specific points of appearance. Human beings have discovered a few of these, but there are many forms of energy that humans have yet to recognize. Every form of energy is a channel through which one source energy flows. I am the source of all energy. Behind all forms of energy, I love. When love is invoked in human affairs, it has a magnetic influence, drawing energy. If the love is sufficient and the need is present, love will create an opening through which the one source energy will flow. At one point during their years of wandering, the children of Israel had sufficient love in the heart of their nation to create the form of energy that they required. The collective attraction of their love at that moment was sufficient to draw water out of the dusty desert rock. Wherever love is in expression, it creates a channel. The one source energy flows through that channel in the most useful form. The earth could never run out of energy. Even in the directions humans have been looking, energy resources are far from exhausted. However, as you rise up to join me in my love and come to share my perception, you will see countless new directions in which to explore for your energies. New directions that will make all the energy humans have consumed since the beginning of time appear as a solitary candle flame by comparison. Just as the Israelites wandering in the desert, had sufficient love to create energy where energy was not, so each nation, honoring love, united in love, sharing in my perception, can enjoy energy and prosperity in abundance. I want the nations to see as I do. They would quickly lose interest in arguing over the few bits of wealth noticed to date. The wealth of a nation is derived from the love generated by the people of that nation. The abundance that is enjoyed by the people of North America is but the first small hint of the prosperity that all people and all nations will enjoy after the banishment of fear. America's wealth is not derived from her military and commercial policies. In fact, too frequently, these policies have limited the abundance that might otherwise have appeared. The blessings that have been showered on the United States of America have appeared for this reason and this reason alone. Through the American people, one of the greatest fears of the fallen era, the fear of difference, is being eliminated from collective human consciousness. America is an example to the world not for superficial government policy, but for the blending of races and people that occurs daily on her street corners, in her marketplaces, in her schools, churches, and factories. In the United States, people from historically antagonistic nations have come to live, work, play, and raise their children together. To the degree that they have learned respect and cooperation, America has prospered. The reunion of the tribes is significant, for in the willingness of the once scattered people of the earth to join together and interact as a single nation, it is through the scattered brushes and magnets of it is as though the scattered brushes and magnets of a great electrical generator were being reassembled. The nations of the earth are designed to interact in a manner that creates energy in forms and quantities that you have no present way of comprehending. The greatest block to prosperity is fear, for it obstructs the flow of life itself. Where the currents of my love are restricted, abundance cannot appear. Wherever love is honored as a source of human motivation, there is always a shortage of energy. Wise as serpents, gentle as doves, those active in my intelligence, flowing in the currents of my love, are taking the time to assist human businesses and governments in the great transfer of authority. Gradually, my intelligence is weaving its way into the logic of the earth's decision makers. As my presence grows on earth, I will disrupt no human society, organization, or system that is organized in love. Even military organizations founded in fear have structures and resources in their control that can be reorganized along the lines of love and turned to good purpose. Do not allow the conspicuous military postures of a half-dozen nations to deceive you. I have been working within the human societies for many centuries, and I can assure you that your world is far more peaceful today than at any prior time in your history. The emotional climate of the earth is changing. There is a general relaxation of tensions and growing reluctance to resort to violent solutions. As my consciousness increases upon the earth, more and more people, including many national leaders, are coming to realize that violence is poor survival strategy. Such ones may or may not be able to sense my presence, yet my presence helps them, nevertheless, to see the falsehood of the whole fearful mode of operation. Violence can only occur where there is a lack of intelligence, and daily the field of my creative intelligence strengthens in all who love. Rejoice, my people, I am here among you. My presence enfolds your planet. My life sings even now in the majority of human hearts. Daily the number of awakened ones grows. There will be no nuclear holocaust. In truth, it was never possible, for no solar activity appears on Earth without my participation. The Earth now has the most intelligent people behind the scenes of its international affairs than it has seen in centuries. They have blind spots and fears yet to release, as do most of you. But if you would work in my consciousness with me, you must accept that some of these are already among my own. There are no dragons to slay, only people to be healed, educated, and loved. To the nations of the earth who have investments in armies and armaments, my message is this: have no guilt regarding your military preparedness, for I know how the old world has been. But earnestly now begin the transition. Withdraw your trust from the strength of weapons and invest it in the strength of your Creator. Trust in my presence as you once trusted in your weapons, and I will guarantee security beyond any you can now conceive. If your nation has the military capacity to invade others, become a model for all nations. Use your influence to make people feel less inclined to fear. It is not my wish that any nation should invest in greater military strength, for whenever my intelligence is made welcome, This is not necessary. Still, it is not my wish that all militaries be immediately disbanded. During times of fundamental human transition, disciplined human organizations can be of valuable service. There is no judgment upon any who served in military forces or who have militaries at their command, provided they pray for my guidance and began the transition I suggest. Transition forms can assist people in moving from the old world into the new. However, if these forms are to truly serve my purposes and not simply to be dissolved themselves in the growing strength of my presence, they will have to remain fluid, ever-changing, ever-flowing, ever-drawing the people associated with them closer to the currents of my love. Where forms stagnate, they cease to be transitional, and so join the rigid structures of fear, already dissolving, melting as snows beneath the warming rains of spring. If in my presence, peace is not a goal, but the background of all that occurs. Now I got to see to why this is not forwarding. Back to library. Did I get to? I got to the end of it. That's why. Well, I will get you on a different one. Here we go. I've got lots of orb pictures, thousands now. I used to have hundreds, but now I have thousands. I hope I don't get into the millions. That would be too much to keep up with. Oh well. Chapter 8. The gardener returns to the garden. Under the surface of superficial human allegiances, beneath the fabric of a fallen world, my vision has continued, and it continues now. To the degree that human beings have shared in my vision, they have known life as they have permitted the currents of my love to flow through their hearts. They have experienced reality. Throughout the fallen era, I have continued to perceive you as perfect beings. I see you as perfect still. Accepting this, you come home. The image of your Creator becomes your own. Though my coming still remains an event in your collective future, you can welcome me now and have the experience of my presence entering your life well before the last hour. My coming will be behind you then, no longer a future threshold or crossing. By opening your heart to me now, you help ease my transition into the human family. You allow my coming to be more gradual. The light of my presence is distributed more evenly across the earth. Your prayers have brought these words to you. In your heart you long to break the bonds that you have formed with those who would rule your life for you. You long for the freedom and grace of your true spirit, a Holy Spirit in love. Rest easy, for your healing is assured. You have nothing to lose but insecurity. Pray daily, and I will bless you with the wisdom and the trust that will make your new life blossom, a joy to you and to all those whom you love. Security lies in spirit. Spirit alone is eternal. Your spirit is here to create in the landscape of time and matter. Do not let what you see reflected on the screen of time dictate your values, for then you are defined as matter. Those who seek material security shall find it. But if it is a greater security you long for, place your trust in love and wholeheartedly devote yourself to the work of spiritual education. My need in these times is for men and women who will devote 100% of themselves, including all the worldly resources at their command, to the education and healing of the human world, to the awakening of the Holy Spirit in the minds and hearts of all. To those who give, I give, that these might give some more. Through them I channel the gifts, all that is required to transform the human world into a joyful realm of new creation. My gifts are designed to be given through incarnate men and women. Through those who give their all to education and healing in these times, my all shall flow. Do not turn your resources over to a single leader, for the advent of my coming has a broad base, and I would that you played a responsible role in the distribution of the resources which have, for a reason, come into your hands. Use your wealth wisely, a little here and a little there, supporting people that are bringing light and goodwill into the world. But create your own educational programs as well. Do not give energy in any form to those who struggle, for though these may have the best of intentions, their means of approaching change are outdated and ineffectual. If you are called to work with these, help them to connect up with my spirit. I will show them a better way. My spirit creates. Those whose lives are aligned with me are not working against darkness. Polar struggles must be recognized for what they are, forms that embody destructive energies. Evil flourishes where it is fought. It diminishes where there is education, blessing, honesty, goodwill, and most of all, love. It is a wonder that such common wisdom as birds and grasses experience has not found greater expression among human cultures. For what bird does not know the direction of the wind, and what field of grain does not bow gracefully before the direction of the times? It will not be much longer that pockets of human illusion exist. Daily, it is harder for dishonesty to resist the flow of my growing energies, for as never before, these times are my times. I am the source of the wind from the new heaven that now restructures the human world. It is for these times, for my times, that you have been created and that you have come into the earth with your talents, your resources, your credibility, and your human influence. Use your gifts now without reservation to serve the purposes of love. Experience in return the gift that I give to all who love, a share in my own consciousness. Those who best understand these times are those who are offering the greatest healing and blessing into them. Let your earthly agreements echo the spirit of my sacred human song. Let your heart be open to the love that I frequently share through you. The time for the greater works is at hand. In these my times, all things work toward my coming are soon dissolved before me. The resources of the earth are rapidly coming into human hands that serve my purpose. The resources that are not already directed under the stewardship of my people soon will be. Your input is a vital ingredient in determining how these resources can be used to greatest advantage. It is my desire now to direct all the resources of this planet to one purpose: education. Healing follows education and includes practical assistance where conditions are extreme. Through those who demonstrate that they have the practical ability to accomplish the greatest healing, teaching, and blessing, I will channel the wealth of this world. Those in my service are provided for well. There is no need for austere or ascetic lifestyles. Yet, the flow must be continuous. Excessive comfort is a danger. Do not let your comforts become exaggerated or out of balance. For where this occurs, there is a stoppage and not a channel, and my blessings can no longer pass through you into the world. Those whom I call to steward the resources of a planet have not been given this commission to channel my wealth into their own personal enjoyments, but to take what they need for themselves and to devote as much as is possible to the great work of education and healing. During these last few years before the truth is obvious to all, have mercy on those who retreat into the old order of fear. Do not attack and condemn them. Many of them would accept the ways of love, revise the policies of their enterprises, alter the course of nations, were it not for the constant condemnation of the so-called righteous. Those who attacked are part of the problem, not part of the solution. They force issues without love in their hearts and thereby promote strong and rigid attitudes on sides of imaginary fences. They encourage absolutes in positions, statements, and behavior that then become very hard for those involved to change. These are not the peacemakers. They are evils in the world, wherever fear is honored as a god. But attack will not change them. Those who attack, if they persist, become what they criticize. Ever it has been that the loving alone would understand, but because this is true, do not look down upon those who struggle to maintain patterns of the old. The worst of these people can be seen with compassion, confused followers of a now absent Lord, who know not what to do but continue in the ways their former Lord had commanded. Do not condemn them. Even they know that they cannot hold out against the flow of life. They will soon leave the earth if they do not change. They are here now for this reason. I know their hearts. They are not as hard as they appear. They may yet change. It could be that you are the instrument of that change. Let them see your love and through you come to know the Lord of love. It is to every human being's advantage to be educated. To share the consciousness of one who created all the suns in the heaven is the greatest joy, the finest energy, the truest pleasure. You will teach best where you inspire others to such experience. The intelligence is present in most human beings to recognize the wisdom of words that are truly spoken. Remember this and do not withhold the spoken word. It takes only one moment of turning, one moment of openness to my Holy Spirit, and then the external teacher can move on. The seed will have been planted, the good will be done. Where you are invited, you are empowered. Offer your perspective only where there is welcome. And I will end this because I don't have enough time on this, and start again.